Because this no longer looks like a temporary scandal. It looks like a woman who had everything, tried to control too much, underestimated the consequences, and accidentally burned her own empire to the ground while the man she tried to destroy walked away holding the keys to the kingdom. Anyway, Edit Blake Lively really thought she was about to have the biggest power move in Hollywood. And instead, this entire situation turned into one of the most embarrassing celebrity downfalls we have seen in years. Girl, when I tell you this whole thing spiraled so badly, I genuinely don't think Blake expected any of this to happen. She probably thought everybody would instantly side with her. Justin Baldoni would disappear quietly and Hollywood would protect her, because she's Blake Lively. But instead, the exact opposite happened. And honestly, the craziest part is watching how fast the industry turned cold on Blake Lively the second things stopped going her way. Hollywood people are loyal only when the cameras are flashing and the headlines are positive. The second controversy hits, everybody suddenly forgets your phone number. And that is exactly what happened here. Because let's really talk about it. The movie It Ends With Us was supposed to be this huge franchise moment for Blake Lively. Huge. The first movie made serious money. Audiences were talking about it nonstop. And normally that automatically guarantees you a spot in the sequel. That's just basic Hollywood logic. If a movie becomes a hit, the main cast usually comes back bigger, richer, and more powerful, but not Blake Lively. Because somewhere during this entire process, Blake completely misread the room. She went from being the glamorous movie star promoting a major film to suddenly becoming the center of this ugly public battle with Justin Baldoni. And now Justin is moving on with the franchise while Blake is completely locked out of it. Imagine fumbling a bag that big. We are talking about a sequel that was practically guaranteed money. And Justin Baldoni, oh, he is absolutely winning the public sympathy war right now. Quietly, too. That's what makes it worse for Blake. Justin is not out here screaming every 5 minutes or doing messy interviews. He's letting the situation speak for itself. While Blake's image keeps getting messier online, apparently Justin has zero interest in working with Blake ever again. And honestly, can people really blame him after all this drama? Reports are saying he is already looking ahead to the sequel without her involved at all. No reconciliation, no let's put the cast back together, nothing. He's done. And what makes this even more brutal is the fact that Justin's production company holds the rights to the franchise. Blake cannot bully her way back into the project because Justin holds the cards here. He doesn't need her approval. He doesn't need permission from Hollywood insiders. He can literally continue the franchise without her standing anywhere near the set. That has to sting. Especially after Blake herself reportedly admitted she lost around $35 million tied to this sequel situation. $35 million. I don't even care how rich somebody is. That kind of money hurts. And now people are looking at this whole situation like she destroyed her own opportunity with her own hands. But let me tell you what really caught my attention during this entire mess. The silence, because where was everybody when Blake Lively started getting dragged online every single day? Where were all the loud celebrity friends? Where was the emotional support? Where were the passionate public statements defending her? Nowhere. And in Hollywood, silence says everything. Usually, when a celebrity is truly loved inside the industry, people rush to support them publicly. You see friends posting Instagram stories. Co-stars suddenly start defending them in interviews. Somebody leaks supportive quotes to magazines, but with Blake, it has been crickets. Even her own family stayed strangely quiet throughout this entire disaster, and people definitely noticed that. Because it's one thing for random internet users to criticize you, but when your own circle refuses to jump in publicly, that makes people start asking questions. And then there's the friendship situation. Girl. Because Blake Lively built a huge part of her public image around being connected to powerful celebrity women, especially Taylor Swift. Their friendship became part of Blake's brand. The glamorous girls' nights, the photos together, the elite celebrity squad energy. Blake loved being associated with that image because it made her feel untouchable. But ever since this Justin Baldoni drama exploded, people started noticing cracks everywhere. Suddenly, Taylor isn't publicly attached to Blake the way she used to be. Fans started analyzing every little interaction, every missing appearance, every awkward silence. And then those rumors started floating around about Blake already buying a dress for Taylor Swift's future wedding before there was even an official wedding announcement. I'm sorry, but that story gave me secondhand embarrassment so bad. Because if that rumor is true, it honestly feels less like confidence and more like desperation. Like Blake desperately wants the world to believe she's still inside Taylor's inner circle, even while everybody online keeps speculating that the friendship has cooled off. And social media has been ruthless about it too. People are literally saying Blake is clinging on to celebrity connections because she knows her acting career is on shaky ground right now. That's the narrative spreading online. And once the internet decides on a narrative, it becomes almost impossible to stop it. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is out here looking calm, focused, and completely unbothered publicly. And honestly, that contrast is killing Blake's image even more. Edit. Because while Blake Lively's public image keeps getting messier and messier, Justin Baldoni is suddenly being viewed as this calm, grounded family man who survived a Hollywood attack and came out stronger. That is literally the narrative right now. Whether people agree with it or not, that's how the story is being framed online. And honestly, Justin's wife, Emily Baldoni, played a huge role in that perception too. People watched Emily stand by Justin through this entire nightmare without looking bitter, messy, or attention-seeking. She stayed supportive, calm, and loyal publicly the entire time. And the internet notices things like that, especially in celebrity scandals. People always look at the spouse because they believe the spouse's behavior tells you everything. So now social media is comparing Emily Baldoni standing beside Justin versus Ryan Reynolds, basically disappearing into the background while Blake took all the heat herself. And girl, people are dragging Ryan too now because Ryan Reynolds used to have this super lovable image. Everybody saw him as funny, charming, harmless Ryan. But after this situation, a lot of people started side-eyeing him hard, especially after Blake openly revealed during interviews that Ryan had secretly rewritten scenes for It Ends With Us. That detail changed everything for a lot of people because suddenly it started looking less like Blake was simply starring in the movie and more like Blake and Ryan were allegedly trying to take creative control away from Justin Baldoni from the very beginning. And once audiences started believing that, the backlash exploded. People started saying Blake treated the entire movie like it was her personal vanity project instead of respecting the original vision. And honestly, her press tour made things so much worse because let's be real for a second. It Ends With Us deals with serious emotional themes. Justin Baldoni was out there doing interviews, talking carefully about the message of the film, the emotional responsibility behind it, the deeper conversations it was supposed to spark. Meanwhile, Blake Lively was promoting outfits. I'm sorry, but the internet never forgave her for that. People felt like Blake was acting like she was promoting Barbie, too, instead of a serious emotional drama. Every interview became about fashion, flowers, styling, glamorous moments, and people online were sitting there like, "Girl, do you even understand your own movie?" That disconnect became one of the biggest turning points in public opinion. And now, Hollywood insiders are allegedly saying Blake's career is basically frozen. No major announcements, no exciting projects, no studios rushing to cast her, nothing. Which is honestly terrifying in Hollywood because momentum is everything there. Once your momentum disappears, the industry moves on fast. There's always another younger actress, another trending celebrity, another social media darling waiting to replace you. And Blake knows that. That's why these Vogue rumors are suddenly everywhere now. Apparently, there's speculation that Anna Wintour and Vogue might help Blake stage some kind of carefully controlled image rehabilitation moment. A glossy magazine cover, a perfectly curated interview, soft lighting, expensive styling, Blake looking emotional but elegant while talking about growth and healing. Girl, we've all seen this PR strategy before. The celebrity disappears during backlash, then suddenly comes back months later with a dramatic magazine spread trying to rewrite the narrative. Usually, there are photos of them looking thoughtful near a window while talking about motherhood, mental health, or learning from difficult experiences. And honestly, people already see right through it before it's even happened. Because social media users are asking the obvious question, why would Vogue risk giving Blake a major cover right now when she has absolutely nothing to promote? No movie, no comeback project, no exciting career momentum, nothing. Vogue covers are supposed to represent cultural relevance. Big stars with huge projects, women dominating conversations for positive reasons. And right now, Blake Lively's name is attached almost entirely to controversy. That's why people think a Vogue cover would feel less like genuine interest and more like damage control. And meanwhile, the financial stories surrounding Blake and Ryan just keep getting uglier too. Because right around the time Blake was attending luxury fashion events, smiling for cameras, reports started spreading about unpaid contractor debts connected to their home project. Millions of dollars allegedly owed, while they were still showing up in designer clothes at glamour celebrity events. That story made people furious because regular people are already struggling financially right now. So hearing about wealthy celebrities allegedly not paying workers while posing with luxury handbags. Oh, the internet was never going to let that slide quietly. It completely shattered the relatable image Blake and Ryan used to have. And honestly, this is where celebrity scandals become impossible to recover from sometimes. It's not just one issue anymore. The public starts stacking controversies together. One problem turns into 5 problems. Then suddenly every old interview gets re-examined. Every awkward moment gets reposted. Every criticism starts sounding believable. That's exactly what's happening to Blake right now. People are revisiting old quips of her interviews and calling her arrogant. They're replaying awkward red carpet moments. They're bringing up stories from years ago that nobody cared about previously. Once public opinion shifts against a celebrity, everything gets viewed through a different lens. And Blake Lively is learning that the hard way. Edit. Now Blake Lively is sitting in one of the worst positions a Hollywood celebrity can end up in. Not hated enough to become an iconic villain people are obsessed with, but not loved enough for audiences to defend her either. She's stuck in this awkward middle ground where people are just tired of hearing about her. And honestly, that is career poison in Hollywood because controversy alone does not destroy celebrities anymore. We've seen stars survive scandals way bigger than this. The real problem starts when audiences lose emotional interest in defending you. That's when the industry quietly moves on. And right now, Blake Lively's biggest issue is that the public sympathy completely shifted toward Justin Baldoni. Justin played this entire thing in the smartest way possible. He stayed calm, publicly avoided screaming matches online, kept talking about healing in peace, and let Blake's side look louder and messier. Whether intentional or not, it worked beautifully for him. Now people are looking at Justin like he survived a massive Hollywood takedown attempt from one of the most powerful celebrity couples in the industry. That narrative alone made audiences rally around him harder. And Blake, she keeps looking more isolated every month. Even the timing of the legal settlement announcement had people talking because apparently the news quietly dropped during Met Gala weekend, which many people believe was intentional. The Met Gala dominates celebrity headlines every year. So slipping bad news into that media chaos felt strategic. People immediately started saying Blake's team was trying to bury the story, so the backlash wouldn't dominate headlines for days. But honestly, by that point, it didn't even matter anymore. The damage was already done. The biggest mistake Blake made in this entire situation was underestimating how fast the public can turn once they smell inauthenticity. Audiences today are extremely online, extremely observant, and very unforgiving when they feel like celebrities are manipulating narratives. And that's exactly how many people started viewing Blake. Every public appearance suddenly looked fake. Every smile started getting analyzed. Every PR article felt overly calculated. Instead of looking powerful, Blake started looking desperate to regain control of a story she no longer controlled. Meanwhile, Justin Baldwin's image became stronger simply because he appeared less performative. And honestly, the Ryan Reynolds damage might end up being even more fascinating long-term. Because before all this, Ryan had one of the safest reputations in Hollywood. Funny husband, charming interviews, social media king, everybody liked Ryan Reynolds. He was basically untouchable publicly. Now people are questioning him too, especially because audiences started wondering why Ryan was allegedly rewriting scenes on a movie that Justin Baldwin was directing. That detail planted a very ugly idea into people's minds. That Blake and Ryan may have viewed the project as theirs from the beginning. And once audiences start believing celebrities are arrogant behind the scenes, it changes everything. Suddenly, old interviews don't sound charming anymore. They sound smug. Old jokes don't feel funny anymore. They feel calculated. The public lens changes overnight. That's why this scandal became so dangerous for Blake and Ryan as a couple. Their brand relied heavily on being likable. Without likability, a lot of their magic disappears. And let's be honest, Hollywood absolutely watches these situations carefully. Studios care about money first. If executives believe an actor brings negative headlines, audience backlash, or internet drama, they quietly stop calling. That's the brutal reality. No studio executive wants their movie press tour turning into nonstop questions about lawsuits, PR manipulation, celebrity feuds, and internet backlash. It becomes exhausting and financially risky. which is why people are now saying Blake's acting career may genuinely be stalled for a very long time, not necessarily forever. Hollywood loves comebacks, but right now she would need an absolutely incredible reinvention to shift public perception again. And the sad thing is Blake probably thought she was protecting her image when this whole situation started. Instead, she accidentally exposed how fragile celebrity popularity really is. One minute you're walking the Met Gala staircase being praised as a fashion queen. The next minute people are reposting clips of your interviews calling you out for tone-deaf behavior. That fall from grace happens so fast now because social media speeds everything up. And honestly, the internet has already decided how this story ends. In the public's eyes, Justin Baldoni survived the storm, protected his reputation, kept his franchise, kept his family united, and moved forward stronger. Blake Lively lost the sequel, lost public support, damaged major friendships, hurt her brand image, and became a cautionary tale about celebrity ego. That's the narrative dominating online spaces right now, whether her team likes it or not. And the most brutal part, Blake Lively may never fully escape this story. Every future project she tries to do will probably come with references to this scandal attached to it. Every interview will carry that shadow because Hollywood forgives many things. But public humiliation like this sticks around for years. At this point, Blake's only real option is disappearing for a while, letting the internet get distracted by the next celebrity disaster, and hoping audiences eventually soften toward her again. Because fighting harder publicly would probably make things even worse. But as of right now, Justin Baldoni walked away looking like the calm survivor of the entire mess, while Blake Lively walked away looking like someone who burned down her own empire, trying to control a story that completely slipped out of her hands.